Check. Hi, folks, and welcome back to Cigarettes, Coffee, and Christ. I am your host, Thaddeus Paul Collins. I know I've been gone for a while. This probably isn't going to be a super long one. I just wanted to touch base with everybody and give you a little update about what's going on and just go over a few things. So I just kind of have a few non-connected topics, really, that I kind of wanted to talk about. Just some things that have been going on. Some of you may have noticed, I know a few of you guys are from YouTube. From Facebook, and I had to get off of Facebook. I had to delete my account. I've tried this before, and I'm hoping I can make it stick this time because I tried to delete it before and I got back on it, and it's like an addiction for me. It really feels that way, and it's an addiction with no real up feeling, no good feeling right now. So I got to cut it off, which kind of sucks because I did use this to try to promote this podcast. But it's just making me sick. It was making me too angry. It was making me too upset. And I have too many friends on each side of every issue, and it's just been driving me nuts. So, excuse me. Let's start the burping already, right? As soon as I turn on the camera and the microphone, all the coffee comes back up. But whatever. So, I'm done. I'm done with racism. I'm done with COVID. I can't deal with it anymore mentally. It's just been really upsetting me. And all of these problems, they seem to be really centralized on social media, okay? I had a talk with a cop for like an hour the other day, and I'm still very much against the police state. I'm still very much a lot of that stuff, but we had to have this officer come out. There were some cars blocked in, and I don't know. I talked with him a long time. He is a nice guy. He does seem like he was just trying to help. And our exterminator guy is a black guy. Our ice cream guy is a black guy. And I talk with these guys all the time. Every morning when they come in, I hang out with them. So I don't see all of this hate and anger and horribleness in the real world. I'm just seeing it on social media. Most people aren't experiencing all this hatred and all of this racism and all this COVID and stuff in real life. It's just, it's purely on these platforms. I mean, I know it exists in real life. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for most of us, most people are normal. Most people are nice. This guy, Ethan, not Ethan from Mean and Sober, but our exterminator, he's black. And this was weeks ago when all this started, and we just talked it out. Like, what do you think about the riots? What do you think about all this going on? And we both were kind of on the same page. So I was just, it's done with Facebook. I'm done with it. It's not affecting me, and I'm bringing all this hate and anger into my life that I don't need. I legitimately have these horrible anxiety issues. I legitimately have this stress that is just eating me alive inside, and it was coming from Facebook. I am on other social media. I am trying to get my Twitter going. I am on PSN, that's PlayStation Network, and on YouTube. So if that's not enough for me, then I don't know. Facebook just seemed so poisonous to me. And the main thing that was really starting to upset me on Facebook is the mask thing, okay? I wear my mask all day. I have to for work. I don't know how much I believe in it. I've said this before, but that's not the issue right now, okay? The problem with whatever side of the mask issue you're on is, I don't even know. Okay, here's what it is. So I'm seeing some of these people from a previous church posting nonstop about how horrible the masks are and how it's government control and how it's this evil thing and they have no right to do it and all this. And it's like, I'm the anarchist, like out of all my friends, and I'm like, let's just wear them. Let's be the bigger people. Let's just do it. But really, what upset me about the mask thing I'm seeing is people, fellow Christians specifically, are more upset about having to wear the mask than the fact that Governor Newsom just said we can't go to church again. I don't see one single post about any outrage on that we're told we can't go to church. That seems like a way bigger issue to me than having to wear these stupid masks. And this is coming from people who don't have to wear them. Like they have to wear them when they go to a store. I have to wear one all day. I'm hauling trash in this horrible heat. I have to be around customers. I have to do all this stuff. So let's just make a little rule here, okay? If you don't have to wear a mask every single day, you're not forced to by your job or whatever, and you just have to wear one when you go out to get some groceries, whatever your take is on it, if you're for masks, you're against masks, if you're from, in the safety of your home and you're able to ride out all this corona shit, like not out in the world, then just be lucky. Consider yourself lucky. And why don't you just let the people who have to deal with them every day worry about it? Okay. I know that sounds a little harsh, but I'm just tired of hearing from people on both sides who, maybe have to wear them for 5 minutes a day. Some of us have to wear them all day. We're complying. We're doing it. As Christians, we need to love each other. We need to, if the mask makes some people comfortable, let's just wear the masks. Let's take the high road. Let's be the side that says, okay, we will do this. So, I don't know. That's where I'm kind of at on that. And I don't know. I'm trying just not to deal with it as much as possible anymore. So, there's that topic. Like I said, I'm just going to shotgun a few things here I wanted to talk about. So, I did finally get to see American Gospel. Everyone's been telling me I need to watch this movie, It's so much of what you've been talking about. And it's fantastic. I loved it. And I got into some discussions with some... I've always been against this kind of stuff. This is what started me out studying as a Christian. I started seeing all these problems with these false teachers and these questionable doctrines that these churches are teaching. And one of the big, guys I see everyone posting, my friends and people from this church is Stephen Furtick. And I've been against Stephen Furtick from the beginning. Pray for him, love him. I'd see so many people posting Stephen Furtick videos, and I'd drop little, hints and lines like, hey, be careful with that. Maybe you should read into what he's really saying. And I was talking to this guy from former church I went to, and he dropped this phrase that I used to hear all the time in this rehab I went to, and that is eat the meat and spit out the bone. And it's basically saying take what's good and forget the rest. And we would hear this a lot. I was, like I've talked about, I was in this program called Teen Challenge, and we would go to these random weird churches all the time as part of the program. These churches, and God bless them, they would take in all these drug addicts and all these strung out dudes, and they would give us a place to worship. And I'm not knocking that. But one of the churches we went to was a Pentecostal church. And if you don't know what the Pentecostal churches are, it's the ones where they speak in tongues and prophesize and just jump up in the middle of the service and start screaming and yelling and speaking in tongues. And God, I remember this one time they said there was a demon in the church, and we had to open up all the windows, and everyone got in a circle and ran around the church yelling to scare these demons out. And I'm probably going to do a whole thing on Pentecostal and some of these different religion or denominations, whatever you want to call it. But Pentecostals are there's all the fainting and the falling down and getting touched and you fall backwards and all this crazy shit. So not always a problem. I mean, I will get into what the Pentecostals mean and that, and Acts and all that. Not in this episode. My point is, you would have all these people who've never been to church before in their life. A lot of them are, still coming down, still trying to dry out. And you bring them to a church like this, and they're like, what the hell is this? Like, this is Christianity? This is nuts. This is crazy. And it would scare a lot of them away. Some guys have left the program. I was always like, maybe we shouldn't take these guys to this particular church until, they've been here a little bit. So anyway, this is where the phrase comes. This is what they told us. They're like, look, just eat the meat and spit out the bone. So they were telling us, hey, just listen to the message. Try to ignore all the crazy shit. Just, actually hear the words out of the Bible. So I didn't know that phrase existed outside of this program I was in. So when I heard it from this guy, it was kind of interesting because I hadn't heard the phrase in a long time. And so it got me thinking, though. I kind of believe in that. As you know, I watch non-Christian movies and listen to secular music. And I am able to take positive things out of these stories and out of these video games and music and understand that some things are, not of God and all that. Oh, my screen getting shut off on me. But the problem with that is when you're talking about religious leaders, when you're talking about teachers, is that if you're not solid in the spirit, if you do not have a good command of the Bible, if you do not have a good handle on what the Word of God says, then, here it comes again. I guess that's like my catchphrase, me burping in the middle of a podcast. But the problem with that is if you're new to Christianity and you get these very charismatic, young, energetic, speakers, you're not going to know what's meat and what is bone. So if you're not teaching the word, if you're not teaching what the gospel actually says, then you're going to confuse a lot of people and you're going to give them information that is not biblical. So that's my problem I have with these like super popular, you have all these self-help movements. Well, everything described in American Gospel. I really think it's a fantastic film. I'm a little annoyed now that everyone's all up against these certain churches and pastors when I have been the whole time and everyone just ignored me. And so they put out this movie and now everyone's, I don't know. I'm glad people are opening their eyes, but do you ever get that? You're like, I've been saying that forever. And now some stupid movie comes out and now you're listening to me? Anyway, whatever. So I just had in my notes here that phrase, eat the meat and spit out the bone. It's good in certain situations. It is good to know what is good, what is bad, what to bring into your heart, what to reject. But that takes practice. That takes study. You have to know the Word of God. You got to read the Bible. And I'm by no means perfect. I'm learning every day. I fully admit maybe there's some entertainment and stuff that maybe not the most beneficial to me spiritually. But I feel good. I have a good command, I think, of what the Word of God says. And again, I've done a whole episode on this called Deadpool and Temple Meat. If you want to check it out, I go into the freedom Christ has given us. Anyway, there's a whole episode on it, so I don't want to dig too much into that. That phrase stuck with me. It's a fine phrase if you know what you're doing. It's a fine phrase if you're solid in the spirit and you know the Bible decently enough to say like, well, wait, this doesn't quite line up, or this doesn't quite make sense. So anyway, if you haven't seen American Gospel, check it out. That phrase though, eat the meat, spit out the bone, you got to be careful with it, because you got to understand that some people are not going to know the difference, and you're going to get all these other messages mixed in with the gospel. And until you're learned and until you're, solid, you might not be able to tell the difference. And that's where the problem comes in, is because some of these things are anti-gospel, they're anti-Bible, they're anti-God, and we just got to be careful with that. All right, knocking them down. What else did I have here? Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about was the documentary TFW No GF. Now, this is a documentary about incels, about that culture, about 4chan, 8chan, all that. And it's told from the perspective of the people of this community. There's no outside commentary, breaking apart while they're wrong, why they're evil, while they're alt-right, all this. It's letting these guys speak for themselves. And I'm really appreciative of that. It's a fascinating culture. It's a fascinating set of very hurt humans that brought them to this place. And my point with this is that I wanted to see this documentary. I saw him talking about it on, I don't remember where. I think it was Your Mom's House podcast, which is a great podcast. Again, you're going to have to filter out some stuff. But they were talking about this documentary, so I went to check it out. And I said, oh, it's on Amazon. And as soon as I went to check it out, it was already pulled from Amazon. So I'm like, that's weird. Why is it pulled? It still says it's up, says it's not available in this region. As of this recording, actually as of a few days ago, I haven't checked today, I couldn't find any reason why it was pulled. I have not finished the whole documentary, but I've watched a good half of it, and I think why it got pulled is because it's showing these people as humans who have been hurt and who have been damaged, and it explains why they came to these subcultures of the internet. It explains why they turned to these groups, and it's because of acceptance. It is because of hurt, and I'm no way condoning this culture. It is very racist. It is misogynistic. But it's not just that. So I think because they were not being portrayed in this evil, hateful light, and these people were being allowed to speak for themselves, I think that's why it got pulled. I think some people, there was a Rolling Stone article that kind of condemned it for not condemning and berating these people. And from what I've seen so far, it's a really interesting look. And I really think it shows that, society doesn't know how to deal with this black-pilled culture. Society does not know how to differentiate what is sarcastic, what is satire, what is jokes, be it jokes in bad taste. Again, there's a lot bad with this group. I'm not condoning it. But these are real humans. These are young guys who've been hurt and cast out from society. And I think we need to do more to understand it and reach out to them and make sure that we're not losing these boys. They're kids. I mean, we need to, as a community, as a culture, reach out and make sure everyone's being heard, and not like their crazy political views. I mean, their souls, their hearts. Why are they hurting? These kids are like from these broken homes. They're, I don't know. It was just an interesting, really interesting look at them. And why I'm even mentioning this is because I have a little note here that says why I support pirating. I don't support pirating in the way I used to when I would just steal any album or music or game I wanted. But in this age of censorship, in this age of removing information and controlling what I can see and what I want to watch, this is where I support it, because I tried to view this documentary legally. I pay for an Amazon Prime subscription. It's one of my video services. I use Amazon for everything. It was released on Amazon and then pulled. It was pulled because someone deemed it unwatchable for me to see. Someone said, no, we don't want the public watching this. We don't want the public hearing this point of view. So I went to Pirates Bay, and I don't feel bad about it in a lick, because I subscribed to the service that provides this video. I was trying to pay for it, and they decided it was something they didn't want me to see. So I'm not going to take that shit. So VPN's fired up. I'm on Pirates Bay. I got it. I have a copy of it. I don't know how to distribute it, and I don't know, of course, that's probably illegal, but what do you do when I don't know. It's just messed up. Like, when censorship is involved, when there's a documentary or a movie that I'm told I can't see and I pursue it through every legal means, and um I don't know. I don't like being told what I can and can't watch, especially when it's on a platform that I pay for, that provide it and then decide to take it down. That's bullshit. I'm also okay with it with certain games. Like if I own a game, I'll buy the game, but then you run into all these digital rights management issues, and you can only play it if you're connected, and you never really own anything anymore. I'm like, well, I'm going to get a copy, a backup copy that I can play offline or whatever. I also think it's important for preserving a lot of classic games because, again, I would like to pay for a service. Nintendo offers a service where they re-offer a lot of these games, but they will they'll clean them up, they'll change the graphics, they'll remake them, and we're losing a lot of these classic original versions of a lot of this stuff, and I think people need to be out there archiving it. So I don't support stealing. I don't support stealing movies or games or videos if they're readily available. But when you start getting into censorship, when you start getting into losing history, I'm a video game nerd. I'm a nerd of all forms, and not ironically, coincidentally, I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt, which was a horrible thing. You can't even find the original copies of those movies anymore unless you pirate them. You can only get the editions with all the digital upgrades and the new scenes and everything, and you literally cannot legally obtain these pieces of art in their original form. So if you can find a good copy, Pirates Bay or some torrent site, I'm sorry, I support that because you're not giving us a legal option to view this material. So there's that. I think that's all I had, really. I have a verse I want to read. I just wanted to touch base with you guys. I wanted to fire up my camera. I haven't been on in a while. It has just been apeshit busy here at work. I know I've commented on this before. It's just, this corona shit is nuts. I mean, we have been so busy. We are completely booked out on boats every day, parking lot full, just nonstop because of whatever. I mean, it's good for business. I'm happy that means I'll have funds during the winter. I want us to do good. It's just so much. It's just nonstop people, constantly. But again, I don't know. It is what it is. And I know people make fun of people who say it is what it is, but I don't know a better phrase to describe this is the situation. I can't do anything about it, so I will have to accept it. It is what it is. So this was a short one. Like I said, I got a Bible verse here that I want to bring up because I have been having very hard days. Everyone's having hard days, either if you're going stir crazy from being locked up, if you can't work, if you're working too much. Some of us in this type of business are just slammed because everyone feels like they have to get out, even though no one's been locked up for months now, but they're still using that as an excuse to just go crazy on my resort. But yeah, just wanted to say hi, just wanted to check in, and I want to make sure I do keep this focused on God, on the gospel. So I am going to, let's see here. What verses did I have? Want to make sure we get in a little bit of real meat, no bone. You don't have to decipher this. You don't have to pick through this. Just some straight words from my man Paul of Tarsus, and it's kind of a little bit of a long one. I'll probably put it up on the board, but let's see here. This is 2 Corinthians. This is verse 6. Chapter 6. Let's do verse, how about 3 through 11? We put no stumbling block in anyone's path, so that our ministry will not be discredited. Rather, as servants of God, we commend ourselves in every way, in great endurance, in troubles, hardships, and distresses, in beatings, imprisonments, and riots, in hard work, sleepless nights, and hunger, in purity, understanding, patience, and kindness, in the Holy Spirit, and in sincere love, in truthful speech, and in the power of God, with weapons of righteousness in the right hand and in the left, through the glory and dishonor, bad report and good report, genuine, yet regarded as impostors, known, yet regarded as unknown, dying, and yet we live on, beaten, and yet not killed, sorrowful, yet always rejoicing, poor, yet making many rich, having nothing, yet possessing everything. We have spoken freely to you, Corinthians, and open wide our hearts to you. We are not withholding our affection from you, but you are withholding yours from us. As a fair exchange, I speak as to my children. Open wide your hearts also. Thanks, Paul. That's it. We're gone. I'm going to try to get some more of these out. I didn't have anything specifically planned out, so I just did a little potpourri of everything kind of going on. I know maybe you wanted some more fiery political discourse or some hot takes on racism or how I think COVID's bullshit and all this. And I don't know anymore. There's no news source I can trust. You know, I've never said COVID didn't exist. I never said racism doesn't exist. I still fully think that we're being manipulated by the media and the tinfoil hat goes on and we're being all this. But, you know, I can't emotionally deal with it anymore. I'm too tired. It's causing me to not focus on God. It's causing me to not focus on my work. And there's so many other things in life we can be working on or enjoying or doing or thinking about or studying than this fucking bullshit, COVID, all of this racism. It's just, I'm done. So I know they're important things. People want to talk about them, but I mean, if something major comes up, I will mention or comment on it. But for the most part, it's just, I have no place in it in my life right now. I'm not even on Facebook. There's nothing I can do to really change anyone's hearts or minds on the topic. So I'm just going to focus on loving God, loving all of you guys the best I can. I pray for everyone's safety. I pray for this country. And I'm going to just try to focus on, you know, more biblical things here. And I don't know. I got to figure out what kind of messages I want to do because I got to take a break from all that other stuff. So hopefully you'll still tune in to listen. Like I said, if something major happens, I will comment on it. I will throw in my 2 cents. But oh man, as of now, that's it. So again, I love you guys. Go with God, and I'll try to get another one out soon. All right, bye.
Everything goes my way when I want it to. Everything rises above the soul. Everyone wants to be my friend in need. What I want and what I need. I look up to my love and to my peace. Stay awake for a while and breathe my breath. But if you don't